In a village where no one had a single hair on their head, a girl was born with hair. Her name was Lila, and from the moment she arrived, nothing would ever be the same. Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by forests and hills, every single person was bald. Men, women, and children all had smooth, shiny heads. They lived simple lives, never thinking about hair because no one had any. But Lila was different. From the day she was born, her hair was golden, soft, and long. It fell past her shoulders like sunlight spilling over the earth. The villagers were shocked. Some were curious, some were afraid, and some were jealous. As Lila grew, she noticed the way people looked at her. Children whispered, pointing. Adults murmured behind their hands. Even the elders, who were supposed to be wise and calm, seemed uneasy. "Why her?" they would ask. "Why does she have hair?" Lila sometimes felt lonely. She wished she could run and play like the other children without being stared at. She tried to hide her hair under scarves, but it was impossible. Her hair had a light of its own, glinting in the sun, catching everyone's eyes. But deep inside, Lila felt something powerful. She was meant to do something important. She didn't know what yet, but she would find out. As Lila's hair grew longer, whispers in the village grew louder. People who had once ignored her now stared every time she passed. At the market, a woman tugged at her husband's sleeve. "Look at her hair. It's so bright, it hurts my eyes," she whispered. "Why does she get something none of us do?" Even the children became mean sometimes. One day, while Lila was walking past the village square, a group of kids blocked her path. "Your hair is weird. Let me touch it," one shouted. "No, stop," Lila yelled, pulling away. But the children laughed. "You're different. You don't belong here." Lila ran to the fountain, her heart pounding. Tears filled her eyes. She loved her hair, but the jealousy and fear from the villagers made her feel alone. At home, she confided in her grandmother. "Why did I have to be born like this?" she asked softly. Her grandmother smiled and brushed her golden hair gently. "Lila, your hair is a gift. One day it will show the village something they cannot see yet, but for now, you must be brave." The next week, jealousy turned to anger. A group of villagers gathered in the square. "We don't like her. Her hair is unnatural," one elder shouted. "It is unfair. We've lived bald all our lives, and she is different. She must be stopped." Lila watched from the shadows, scared but determined. She knew she had to do something, but she didn't know what yet. She felt the weight of all eyes on her, expecting her to be ordinary, expecting her to fail. One afternoon, Lila wandered into the forest beyond the village. The trees were tall and mysterious, their leaves whispering in the wind. Birds chirped, and sunlight flickered like magic through the branches. She walked farther than she had ever had, until she came across an old tower. It was covered in ivy, moss, and cracks. It looked like no one had been there for 100 years. Lila's curiosity grew. Carefully, she pushed open the heavy door and stepped inside. Dust floated in the air. Cobwebs hung from every corner. On a wooden table, she found a very old book. Its cover was worn, its pages yellowed. She opened it and gasped. It was a journal written in delicate handwriting. "Long ago, I feared vanity and pride. I cast a spell to take all hair from the villagers. But one child will be born with hair. That child is the key. Only they can break the curse and bring hair back to the village." Lila's heart beat fast. That child, that's me. The next day, she showed the journal to the village elders. Their faces turned pale, and they whispered among themselves. "Why didn't anyone tell us?" Lila asked. The eldest spoke slowly. "We feared what hair would bring. Vanity, greed, trouble. We thought it safer for everyone to remain bald." Lila's eyes filled with determination. "Hair is not a curse. Hair is a gift. I will break this spell, and I will help everyone have hair again." The elders hesitated. Finally, they nodded. They would let Lila try, but warned her, "It will not be easy. The spell is strong, and it may test your courage." That night, under the bright light of a full moon, Lila stood in the village square. She opened the journal and read the ancient words. "By the light of truth and heart so fair, let every head grow hair." The wind swirled around her. Golden sparks danced through the air. Slowly, hair began to grow on every villager's head. Short hair, long hair, black, brown, red, and silver. Everyone's head was no longer bare. Some villagers laughed, some cried, some were in shock. Children ran to touch their new hair. Adults hugged each other. The village, once dull and quiet, was alive with color and joy. Lila's hair shone brighter than ever. The villagers no longer feared her, they celebrated her courage. They had learned something important. Being different could be powerful, and sometimes it could save everyone. News of Lila's golden hair spread to neighboring kingdoms. One day, a royal messenger arrived with a letter sealed with gold. It was an invitation from Prince Adrian, a young prince from a nearby kingdom. He had heard tales of Lila's bravery and extraordinary hair. Lila traveled to the prince's castle, her hair flowing behind her like a river of light. She met Prince Adrian, who was kind, brave, and always smiling. He was curious about her adventures and inspired by her courage. They explored the castle gardens together, climbed secret staircases, and shared stories of their childhoods. Lila taught Adrian about courage and standing out, and Adrian taught Lila about leadership and kindness. Over time, their friendship grew to love. Prince Adrian admired her heart and bravery. Lila admired his courage and loyalty. Together, they laughed, learned, and shared every secret. Years passed. A sunny morning, in the castle garden where they had spent so much time together, Prince Adrian held Lila's hands. "I cannot imagine my life without you," he said softly. "Will you marry me?" Lila smiled, her golden hair glinting in the sunlight. "Yes," she whispered. The kingdoms celebrated their love. Lila, once the girl who had been different, became a princess. Her village, now full of hair, thrived. People remembered her courage, and everyone learned that being different was something beautiful. And they all lived happily ever after.